Okay, so this is just another short video for you before I sit down to work on a more in-depth video. I've actually got one that I need to work on for the Madeline Soto case as well, for those of you who followed Maddie's case. So I am again focusing on Malaya Brooks Murray, and I'm going to focus on one particular statement that she made, which for me was just covered in red flags.
We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them.
So there's actually quite a lot to unpack just from this one statement. So the biggest standout for me here is that there's no I statements at all. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. This is not a mother pleading for her children to be found safe. This is not a mother pleading for her children to be brought home. She's not giving us any indication of how she personally feels. This is all we statements. And to me, it sounds like something that has been concocted as part of the narrative. I've said this before. One of the big signs of a concocted narrative is the people are talking in we statements, because basically they've worked it out together. So in their brain, it includes all of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, however many worked out this narrative. This is not even close to what I would expect to hear from a mother whose children are missing and who should be so very worried. She's not going to give a rat's ass about anyone else. She's going to be talking about how she feels. She says, we just want them found. But that's not a genuine plea. That's just a statement of fact. And like I said, it's not personal. It's not coming from her. She's not saying, I really need my children home. I really pray that they find them, and soon. No, it's just we want them found. She's not expressing any dread, any fear, any desperation. Not even, I need to know they're okay. We don't hear any of those things that you would expect to hear from a concerned mother. These are her babies. And let's be real, we know enough about this case now to know that Janie didn't give a toss for these kids. Daniel really didn't give a toss for these kids. So who's the we that she's referring to? And is this because she's incapable of feeling these things on her own? For her own kids? And the fact that she says we're all filled with pain and sorrow, that shows you that she's not just talking about her and Daniel, for example, or maybe her and her mother. We're all filled with pain and sorrow. It's like she's talking for the whole community. It's like she's the designated spokesperson speaking on behalf of a whole community, but not on behalf of herself. Using all these we statements, to me that's a huge red flag, because she is not expressing any of her own concerns. Does she not care that her children are missing? Or does she just know that they're maybe not going to be found? Why is she incapable of actually using these I statements and expressing how she personally is feeling? And let's address what she's actually said here. That first line, we're all filled with pain and sorrow. I would expect to hear this from someone whose children were deceased, not someone whose children were missing. Sorrow implies loss, implies death. Sorrow implies that sense of permanent loss. You know they are never coming back. When a child is missing, yes, you may be filled with pain, but you're not going to be filled with sorrow. I would expect to hear her expressing anxiety Maybe anger if she felt that the search wasn't being adequately done and that they should have found them by now. But to be expressing pain and sorrow on day 2, when the children only allegedly went missing the day before, that's really concerning for me. If you just caught that one clip and that one line, "We're all filled with pain and sorrow," you would jump straight to the conclusion that these children are deceased. You would not come to the conclusion that this is a mother whose children are currently missing and have been missing since the day before. And there's actually no agreement between the statements that she's making here. She says we're all filled with pain and sorrow because. So she's going to tell you the reason why they are filled with pain and sorrow. And she says, we just want them found. We want them home. So if your children are missing and you're saying you want them found, you want them home, you're not going to be feeling pain and sorrow. You're going to be feeling frustration. You're going to be feeling anxiety. You're probably going to be feeling panic. You are not going to be feeling pain and sorrow. She's just pulling statements out of her ass. She's saying what she thinks she's supposed to say, which is another huge red flag. Because if her children were genuinely missing, then the words would just be pouring out of her. She would be expressing her concern, expressing her panic, not having to think about how to sell the story. And we know that's what she's doing, not just because the explanation for feeling pain and sorrow doesn't match, but also because of the pauses in her speech. She says we're all filled with, and there's this pause while she decides what they should be filled with. And she gets it wrong, pain and sorrow. So no points for that statement, dear. And then she pauses because she doesn't know where to go from there. And she's like, because. Well, that's a good way to go, isn't it? Let's tell them why we're filled with pain and sorrow. Because. And then she has to think about, well, what's the because? We just want them found. Slight pause. We want them home. And then we get another pause before everyone loves them. She has to work her ass off to figure out what to say. This should come naturally for a mother whose children are missing. She shouldn't need to pause to figure out what to say next. And note the fading facts. After she said, we just want them found, I had to go back and listen because I wasn't sure if she said, want them home, or if she did actually say, we want them home. Because the we was really, really soft. She's probably thinking there that they're not coming home. So saying we want them home is clearly a lie because she knows that can't happen. They can't want something when they know that it's not going to happen here. And still, it's not her expressing that she wants them home. It's the royal we. And let's be realistic. Everyone loves them. Tacking that on the end was just because she couldn't figure out how to finish that statement. You get the pause, then you get everyone loves them. Yep, that'll do. There you go, I've made my statement. There's not a single I statement at all here. There's pauses throughout as she has to think about what she wants to say. And her reasoning for the pain and sorrow isn't in agreement. You would expect the explanation for pain and sorrow to be the knowledge that they're never coming back, not because they just want them found and they want them home. And yes, there is a lack of emotion here while she's saying this. And I would say there's a few reasons for this. First of all, because she's not actually speaking on behalf of herself here. She's not telling us how she's feeling. She's telling us basically a made-up speech, which therefore doesn't have the personal connection to Lily and Jack. We're all filled with pain and sorrow. That's not anything connecting with Lily and Jack. That's just words. Words for the sake of saying something to make it sound like you are concerned. And I'm not going to say that she's not concerned, but I think that, first of all, the pain and sorrow, that's leakage, because she knows those children are deceased. But also, it's that masking there. She's trying to think of what a mother would say if their children were missing as opposed to if they knew their children were deceased. And I think that's why we're getting this slight disconnect in terms of emotions. I also wouldn't be surprised, though, if there is still that sense of shock. And maybe if she had the emotions hit in days afterwards. Maybe after she left the area with her mother, maybe that's when all the emotions kicked in. Maybe when she did this, it wasn't day 2, it was actually day 3. And maybe she had already cried herself out by the time authorities were called on the Friday morning. At the end of the day, though, when she says this statement, her affect and her words do not match what you would expect from the mother of 2 missing children.